Yo, what's good, man? This is your boy at DFSMasterMind _ over on Twitter. Today's date is May the 26th. Look, FanDuel got the 50K tournament. I'm going to throw a few tournaments in there tonight, man. I'm trying to hit 50 racks. I feel good, man. I got time to do my research. I think I'm running out 3 lineups tonight. I'm going to get straight to the point. I'm going to tell you who I like, who I don't. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to beat around the bush, man. I'm gonna not even tell you who I don't like. I'm going to just tell you the people and the teams that I'm keying in on, and I'm going to have in a lot of my lineups. I want to start off with pitching. I'm using 3 different pitchers. Like I said, I'm running 3 lineups tonight. Number 1, and these should be no-brainers, man. It's not anything... it's not anything out of the ordinary. Number 1, of course, Max Scherzer. I got to have him in the lineup. My number 2 pitcher, surprisingly, is going to be Alex Wood. The man, he's a really good pitcher. I'm a little worried about his pitch count, man. Let me cut this TV down real quick. All right, like I was saying, man, Alex Wood, the man has been on fire here recently. I am a little worried about his pitch count. You know, he's coming back from the injury. He hasn't been throwing a ton of pitches, but I really like him tonight, man. I know he's going up against the Cubbies. I understand that, man. He's going up against the Cubs. They're a little scary. But, man, I think he has enough swing and miss stuff to where he'll be okay, man. If he can avoid Chris Bryant, like I said with Samardzija the other day, if he can avoid Chris Bryant and Rizzo, he should have a fine outing, man. He's been showing that he has the juice, man. His last few games, they've been in the high 40s. One game he touched 50, and he's striking out a ton of batters, man. And I don't think it'll change with the Cubs. The Cubs, surprisingly, they strike out quite a bit, man. They really do. But my only holdback on Alex Wood is the pitch count, man. If we can get him to give us 7 innings, that would be wonderful, wonderful. They normally don't let him go past 95 to 100 pitches. So keep that in mind. And the last pitcher I'm going to be using is Jacob deGrom. I keep going back and forth between deGrom and Chris Archer. I love both of them tonight. But for me on today's slate, I'm definitely paying a little higher for pitcher. And I'm playing on FanDuel. I haven't made a DraftKings lineup. If I do, I'll probably have a combination between Alex Wood or Chris Archer or deGrom and maybe Mike Clevenger. I like him a little bit. But those are my 3 main pitchers, dude. I really love Max Scherzer. K potential is definitely there. I love Alex Wood. I love Jacob deGrom, man. I think all of those guys will have wonderful nights going up against teams. Max Scherzer is going up against... he has a cupcake matchup. I think a lot of people are going to be focused on Coors bats for good reason, man. But he has the cores of striking out people. He's going up against the Padres. So pitcher as good as him, I expect good things, big things. So those are my top pitchers. A few games to stack. Of course, I'm not gonna mention the Rocky Stadium. We all know. So pile up on the Colorado and St. Louis bats if you can afford it. But a few other games that I really like to stack. I like Cincinnati versus Philly. I think that's a good one to target. I think Texas versus Toronto is a pretty good one. And then I like Seattle and Boston. Mainly on the Boston side, I got a few Seattle bats sprinkled in. I got to line up with Nelson Cruz in there. But I really love those teams as far as a game stack, man. I think they're in really good spots. They both have, all of those games have high totals on them. So I think we can attack, man. We can find people that we like, and we can go after it. Now, teams I like to stack, man. I like the Yanks. I like Washington. I like Toronto, of course, with the teams or the game stack. And I got Cleveland and Houston. I love all of these teams to go after. What I'm doing in the majority of my lineups, I have a lot of, I got a lot of mini stacks. Like Washington, I got Lynn and I have Turner. Boston, I have Rutledge and Rutledge and shortstop, man, Bogarts. And Houston, I actually have 3 Houston bats. I got Altuve, Correa, and Springer. I think that's going to be a nice little stack. Toronto, Batista, and Morales. So I'm going to do a bunch of 2s, man, because there are a lot of good spots tonight. I think we can take advantage of a lot of these pitchers that's taking the mound tonight. Just make you a lineup and feel really good about it, man. And I also have a New York. I have the catcher, Romine, and Aaron Judge. I think that can be a nice little combo. Those are the teams I'm really stacking. Those are the teams I want to focus on, and I want to build the majority of my lineups around those teams that I just mentioned, because I think they're gonna score the most points, man. So I'm gonna have me a little exposure to everybody. Not everybody. Everybody that I mentioned, I'm going to have a little bit exposure to. But yeah, man, so hopefully this helps. Now that I said that, I want to give you my top 3 bats on the night. I just mentioned Romine, the catcher for the Yankees. With me paying up for pitching, I got to have a cheap option. And he's bare minimum at the catcher position, so I locked him in all of my lineups across the board. The wind is blowing out in Yankee Stadium. I think it should be a good matchup. They're going up against Manaea, so I'm hoping from big things for him, dude. My number 2 bet. I'm gonna go ahead and go George Springer, man. I'm gonna lock him in. He's cheap. He's going up against Guzman, I believe, and y'all know the wind is blowing out. I love the Astros. They have a huge total on the night. So I'm going to definitely lock him in. I want some exposure as much as I can. Like I said, I got Altuve and Correa also. I think they may have bigger games than Springer, but for the discount, man, I think we can plug Springer in. And another side note, Springer, man, just so you know why I'm going with him. He's been hitting the ball hard, man. He hasn't been putting up a ton of numbers. But if you watch baseball, man, and you see these batters start to make solid contact, that's an indicator, man, of good things. And on his last at-bat, last night versus Detroit, he hit it to the warning track, man. And it was almost out, man. He barely missed it. So that's a big sign. He's not striking out as much. I think he's a lock, man. I love him. I'm going to have him in probably 2 or 3 of my lineups, 2 of 3. And another bat that I just got to mention, man, I got to go with Jason Kipnis, man. I think he's a pretty solid discount, 3.3. Going up against Kennedy, I think he's in a good spot. Cleveland has a high total. Man, second base is kind of loaded, though, man. We got a lot of options to choose from. There's a lot of positions that's loaded because we have all the teams are playing, man, so we have a lot to choose from. But he just keeps catching my eye, man. Leading off, going up against a righty and Ian Kennedy, who's been giving it up. I think he's in a good spot, man. He's starting to roll. He's starting to catch on fire. So I love him tonight. And then I'm going to just give you a few more bets that I really like, man. And I'm going to have a ton of exposure to. Let me see really quick. Got to go back to my lineups. Shortstop, man. If you're looking for a cheap shortstop, I think Elvis Andrus is in a really good spot, man. He's 2.6, y'all. This man is dirt cheap. I think we can definitely capitalize on that price. Like I said, if you're paying up and if you're paying up for pitcher or Coors bats, you're gonna have to match it with some cheap guys. And I feel like 26 batting second in a good matchup, high team total. That's one of the games I got circled as a game stack, man. So I went on and threw him in a few of my lineups. And then Herrera is leading off. Going up against Edelman, I think he's in an excellent spot, man. The Philly bats have been struggling, man. They're at home. They should be able to get it going, man. They really been struggling. They're shuffling around the order. So hopefully, man, him leading off, he can get something going. I think he has a cupcake matchup as far as pitcher goes. So I like him. And then my one Coors bat that I'm going to have a ton of exposure to is going to be Carlos Gonzalez. And that shouldn't be a surprise, man. He's been on fire. He's been dominating. And I just think he's in a good spot, man. It's Coors Field. What more can I say? He's been smashing away from home, so I think once he gets home, he's gonna feel more comfortable and he's gonna let it ride, man. Hopefully a few times, because I'm gonna have a lot of exposure. And the last bat I wanted to mention is the third baseman for Cleveland, Jose Ramirez, man. He's almost just, he's too cheap, man. He's been struggling a little bit, but this guy is one of the consistent hitters. He's one of the top RBI leaders on his team. So I'm not going to lose faith in him, man. He's 27. I think he's in a good spot, man. I love the Cleveland bats, like I was saying. So I got a lineup out there with Kipnis and Jose. Hopefully that works out for me, and hopefully this video helped y'all. I want y'all to bless up. I want y'all to get to the green line tonight. And if you don't mind, man, give me a thumbs up. Follow me if you haven't already. Get at me on Twitter, man. We still got a few hours before lock. If y'all want to know anything, I'll be willing to help, man. If y'all got any questions, let me know who you going with, man. But until then, y'all bless up. Get to the green line. And if you plan on FanDuel, man, I'm going to be at the top tonight, man. I'm getting 50 racks tonight, man. So hopefully I'll see y'all in second. Y'all be easy, man. Bless up.